ahead a second. Okay. So, folks, welcome. This is Marc Steiner. We came to New York today. You know, many of you listen to our show know we've been covering Occupy Wall Street with people in New York. We've covered Occupy Baltimore, Occupy Washington. So we decided, Justin Levy, Christina Harrison, and I, to come to New York today, two producers and our friend and videographer, Stevie Elliott, and you'll see some of that video on the web soon, to come to New York to see for ourselves what was going on here at Occupy Wall Street. So we're entering Occupy Wall Street to get a lot of interviews, get a sense and feel for what it is, and bring it back home for all of us. So join us. Here we go. Can you talk to you for a second?
Sure.
Great. Hi.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Marc Steiner.
I'm Delva Walker.
Hi, we're from Baltimore, D.C.,
Yes.
the Marc Steiner Show down there, public radio and internet. So here you are,
Yes,
in
sir.
your suit
Yes.
and your sign. So tell us why you're here and why you're holding that sign.
I'm here because a lot of kids are suffering who just left college. They can't get a job, they can't get no work, no opportunities, and I think it's unfair for Wall Street to have all this money and all this power, and these kids out of school has nothing to do. Most of the kids here are college grads, and they don't have a job. So that's why I'm here trying to say, give the kids a job, free up the money, let the kids have something to go with, and that's why I'm here.
Now, what do you do for a living?
I work with the WEAA organization. I work for the government, WEP, Work Experience Program.
Okay. So now, what does your sign say?
My sign says simply, jobs are what the people need. Tell Eric Cantor and the rest of the guys to, sign the bill. The jobs bill, yes. That's all I'm talking about, the jobs bill. These guys want jobs. They're mostly college grads here. They need jobs, and that's why I'm here. Most people who see how the system is, they are very upset, and they need to say something, for something to be done. And this is why you have so many people here of different colors, different race, different background, different culture. Everybody's here saying the same thing. Give the kids a job. That's all we want, jobs for the kids.
Is this at your lunch hour and you're down here?
Yes, I'm down here on my lunch hour. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
My name is Christopher Guerra, and I'm here serving my country.
What does that mean?
That means defending saving my country from these corporate Nazis. My goal is right now is little steps. It's to get the awareness out that the corporate leaders, not the corporations itself, but the corporate leaders run this country and not us. They bribe judges so that a corporation has the same rights of a human, but no accountability. They bribe Obama, they bribe the left and the right and the middle, whatever. They bribe the people that are supposed to regulate them. Doesn't make any sense. They've accepted bailouts even though their business plans are completely messed up and should fail anyway. And I'm a Republican and I'm saying that. Republican? Yes, I am. And I'm an Eisenhower Republican. The only real Republican. That's Tea Party shit doesn't count.
As a Republican, do you think that, what do you think about the diversity in this party?
It doesn't matter about right or left. Of course, I'm probably the only Republican, but whatever. I've been drafted. It's a draft. I've been drafted.
Drafted in the Army?
Yes, Army of the people, yes.
You're sitting here at a table that says coaching.
Exactly.
So what does that mean?
In coaching, basically what we do is we ask questions that are designed to help people look deeper in themselves, to find out what they're most passionate about, kind of connect to their core, and find out for themselves what it is that they want to do in their own life and see created in the world, and then take the actual steps to start making that happen. What I'm seeing is sort of this field of possibility that I've never experienced before. I'm seeing people come together in small groups and all the individuals have just met each other for the first time and seeing a need for the community or a need of something that they're wanting to see come to fruition in the world, and they're making these things actually happen. And I haven't been a part of a community in a long time, since something maybe like kindergarten, where there's that kind of excitement and joy in just coming together and making projects happen. And that right there, if nothing else comes out of this, if that is a lesson that gets taken away, that's possible in the world, we've accomplished something really big, in my opinion.
So, what do you think this will do? What is this going to accomplish? What do you think this is going?
I have no idea. From my point of view, every single person here is basically yes, we all have visions. We all have ideas of, things that we want to see change in the world. And what's happening here is being drawn out by a very equal, democratic process. And so each one of us is kind of taking one step and then taking the next step. And that's kind of as far as you can see right now. Like, yes, you can have the broader vision. You can think, we want to change the world, or, we want Glass-Steagall to come back, or something like that. But all that's here to do right now is take the next step. And what I'm seeing is that people are kind of sticking to that, and it seems to be working. We have the attention of the world right now. The movement is growing all over the world. And why mess with that if it's starting to take us in the right direction?
Why are you here?
Why I'm here? I'm here because the economy and the future from the young people, the school cut, Medicare cut, people homeless, is send all that money to people need it for real. We need it over here, where the 9/11 was here in New York. Was in a lot of places. Right. Like it do same money over here, same use money for. That's why I'm here, because I protesting, because I'm homeless and I got my family in the Chester. We struggle in the school. We need the future.
You're homeless living in a church?
Yeah, in the Chester, right now.
In the shelter now?
Yeah, in the family Chester, with my 2 kids and my wife. And it's a lot of struggle there right now. Oh my God, sometimes we cry. Well, a lot of stuff will happen there now, because we don't got a lot of help.
There's a woman standing, obviously an actor, with a sign that says, what does it say, Justin?
It says, work, consume, be silent, die. I rely on your apathy. It's costing
Earth. And we'll find out what's going on here. So excessive wealth and consumption are dying paradigms for new America with a green revolution, says your sign, right? So talk about why you're here.
Pretty much everything that I've seen is aligned with what I think and believe. This in particular, I feel, is a really, the environment is a really important issue, because without it, jobs aren't going to matter because we're all going to be dead. And the sign pretty much sums it up for me. I think that, I feel like we're all responsible for what's happened. So I've been here since this morning, and I'll be here probably till about 10 tonight.
So now what do you do when you're not here?
I paint backdrops for Broadway. I'm a union local 829.
Every time I ask somebody that, it's just because I think that there's an image in America that this is a small group of people who don't work, go to school,
Right.
but that's not the case.
No, there's a lot of professional people, and I wanted to come and sort of support that. And honestly, when I first came, I was like, wow, there's a lot of young people that are sort of seem kind of a little lost and not really, but they're the engine that's keeping this going.
So you're just a tourist, but you wandered in here.
I'm a New Yorker, and I'm a tourist at this event because this is the first time I've come to see what's going on. I've been following it on air, online, and I haven't been able to get here. So I feel like I'm here, I'm with them in spirit, but this is my first kind of look. And there's that decision moment about, okay, am I just a tourist or am I somebody who joins in?
So what do you think?
Well, I want to be somebody that joins in, and now it's like, okay, how do I do that? Where do I find the time? How do I participate? Do I have to be here? Can I do it from offsite? Because they're doing so much social media that I'm trying to figure out the way to work with work and life and here.
So what is your work?
I'm an artist and a college professor.
So you were drawn to this even before you got here?
Oh, definitely drawn to this. I mean, how can you not be? It's so vibrant. So many people. I always love when Americans come out and kind of put themselves on the line. And I'm always happy to see that we're doing it more. Like, we're starting to do it more and more. Because I always feel like when you go to other countries, people are much more willing to just be out in the street in a hard way. Whereas we're not as often, but I feel like we're starting to get that back and find ways where it's respected, or like this long-term occupation. makes it so that it has a longer term effect. I was talking to students yesterday about protests, right after the war began, and how that got no media play.
Iraq War, you mean?
Yeah, no media play. And then, so this, which is a longer term event, a longer term occupation of the place, starts to turn its own thing in the media outside with you guys, and also they're making their own media, which is wonderful.
What do you think of, being from the outside as a tourist for the day, but more than that, I got a feeling that the media, the slogan here is 99% versus the 1%, right? But the way it's portrayed is that in some ways the people protesting are the 1%.
Right. Yeah, well, of course. It's always kind of like these are the outsiders, and this is the way you kind of, I think, segregate the communities in America, not only, black, white, yellow, but just protesters, non-protesters, where these guys are saying we're the ones, and they are. They represent most of us in this country, right? And so, the media is doing what I think the media does in kind of controlling the message to a certain extent, or controlling what others think about it and why, and if people get pulled in here, because it becomes about, you get this almost us and them. And if the media kind of says this is 1%, then it's them, not us. I work on a college campus, so the kids are interesting because half of them are with it, although I'm kind of interested in that, a lot of them are like, well, I'm not the 99% as well, which is very interesting to me, because they're saying, well, you could do X, Y, and Z, and you hear this kind of, bootstrap mentality, whereas, obviously they haven't been in contact with some of the things that are happening in the world. With my family, it's a kind of curiosity, but they're not out here yet. Like, I'm kind of the pioneer. And there's a curiosity and a kind of wanting to, but then this feeling like there's a danger in a certain way, which is what kind of danger is that?
And again, I'm curious also when I look around and I see people, when you look at the group, it really is a very diverse group.
Yes.
You as a woman of color sitting here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Standing here.
Standing here.
But the way the image is very different in, I think, the established media.
Oh, definitely. And one of the reasons I'm here was to see for myself, to witness what's actually out here, because I think this is another way that we get separated. Because if you say this is a movement of, a certain group of people and you're not there, that means you don't go. I live in a neighborhood that's majority black, and I think they hear things like this and go, well, that's not a place for me.
There's young white kids running around.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Young white kids doing their thing, why should I go? When, it's not the truth. I've seen all sorts of people here. And then so you got to get the people to recognize what's going on beyond what the media is saying. Hopefully they'll tune into some of the social media, because then you get a view of what's going on and around, but I don't know.
You came down the other day.
I'm really glad I came down. I was low on energy. Now I'm kind of high energy. So technically,
What's your name again?
Stephanie.
Stephanie Marc Steiner. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
How long have you been here? Why are you here?
I've been here for a week and a half, and I would say the fundamental underlying reason why I'm here, it would be very difficult for me to explain why I'm here in a short segment, but fundamentally the reason why I'm here is because that I believe that in the United States we have a culture that's based on insecurity and fear, and here I believe what we're trying to create is a culture of respect, trust, and mutual aid. And so what we're doing is developing an alternative and demonstrating it with every minute that we exist here.
I've been here pretty much almost every day. Slept out 18 nights. And I'm just very dedicated. I've been waiting for this my whole life. Like, really, I was always like, God, why wasn't I born in the 60s? And you know what? It's like fate works things out. I got to study my heroes, from Abby Hoffman to Che Guevara to Martin Luther King, and learn from their mistakes and their wisdom. And now this has come together. In the media, they try to say there's no common ground. And I'd like to strongly disagree with that, because what I see as a unifying factor is everyone has come here because they'd like to see change. And in my opinion, a good umbrella statement for the multiplicity of different reasons and issues people have gathered here for The umbrella statement would be people want to see government that's truly for the people and by the people and in the best interests of all peoples, all nations, and this earth.
I think a part of the issue in the past with movement in general was that it was very splintered into different special interest groups. And I think what's special about this is that we haven't put a specific issue on it. And now we're able to all gather together and sort of exchange ideas about the different problems that we're facing. And there are a lot of them. And that's why it's hard to just focus in on one. But hopefully we can start to chip away at them one at a time.
If you want to help right now, the person is at the red cube right now. One check. The cleaning is done. They're all coming back tonight.
Tell us about the kitchen. What's going on here?
A lot. Basically, we have a whole bunch of volunteers. The kind of core of the group is volunteering. Like, it's just like me, Amy, Laura, Alan, a bunch, I don't know, maybe about 10 or 15 of us are volunteering about 15 hours a day. We're getting about, last night I had 3 hours, and that's like been for the past 9 days or so. We've been extremely busy. Basically, we're just giving this all of our time. We even haven't really been able to hang out and do protests, do marches.
You've been feeding people.
We've been feeding people.
How does this work, man? Where's the food coming from?
We have two things. The majority of our food comes from just donations. You'd be unbelievably amazed at how many people just give us just a lot of food. So that comes in. We try to get it. Sometimes it comes in at odd hours, which kind of it's tough for us to deal with, but we make it happen. Mostly it comes in around lunchtime and around dinner time. So that comes in. We try to get in touch with people who are doing that. We also have a lot of donations that are like raw vegetables, stuff like that. We try to keep. We don't really have a place for refrigeration, so we keep raw meat. Anything that we have to keep refrigerated, we can't have. The vegetables and stuff like that. We have off-site kitchens that people donate to us. People welcome us into their homes. So we get about 4 people to a kitchen. Sometimes we try to get at least 2 or 3 a day. We actually just got a permanent large-scale kitchen that we can use every day in East New York, so that's awesome. And then, sorry, I'm kind of tired. So, and then we cook the food that we have here, try to get as much of it made as possible. So we have basically food coming in from donations, food that we cook. We bring it back here and we serve it to people.
People seem to be well-fed, happy.
Yeah, and we're also trying to figure out a way to count how much we're doing. We're thinking we do at least 2,000 plates a day.
2,000 plates a day.
At least, because there's. I think we have I think it's 600 that we counted are actually staying in the park, including myself and most of the people in kitchen. But there's a lot of people come here for the day. There's a lot of people come through twice, whatever, which we welcome. Eat it up. It's not ours. That's another important thing to remember about the kitchen, is that this is not our food to hand out. We have to. That's what we do. But we have to always keep in mind that if anybody wants it, somebody comes in and just asks us for a whole thing of stuff. Kind of the mentality is like, take it. It's everybody's. This isn't ours to regulate, although sometimes kind of have to, but we're trying to stay away from that as much as we possibly can. Came to New York about 3 weeks ago. Oh, gosh, it's about a month ago now. Spent my last paycheck on a plane ticket and had about $40 in my pocket. Came to New York City with a backpack and a mandolin. Made about $450 a day, just enough to keep myself fed on dollar slices. And then I stumbled upon this a few days later, and I'm like, wow, this is really something special. And these people are working so hard, and I've been on the front lines before and kind of know how these things work, so I'll do it again.
We have invaded and occupied peoples around the world, and basically we invaded and occupied the homes and the workplaces, the hospitals, the schools of the American people. Not we, but our government in support of the campaign to privatize. They're stealing pensions, they're stealing our future, they're not providing for the sick. So this is it's a beautiful response to that.
Everyone should come down and experience this place because this place is steeped in a sense of nonviolent protest. There's a very special community here, and people are very respectful of each other. They may come with different grievances, but everyone's very respectful. And it's a shame that people can't come here from around the country to experience it for themselves. There's more than one reason why people are coming down here. One is the lack of responsiveness in government, and people are upset that the government seems to only be concerned about the interests of the wealthiest people in the U.S. And people are upset that Obama ignored the progressive positions for his first 2.5 years in office. People are disgusted, not just with the Republicans, but with the Democratic Party for failing to show any leadership in light of the the takeover of Washington by economic interests. I could go on, but you've heard it all before. Washington is not responsive to the average American. Washington is in the pockets of the largest corporations and the people who manage the largest corporations. That's what this protest is all about. And it's about the lack of opportunity among young people. You'll see a lot of young people here today, and they're upset that their future looks pretty grim. Thank you.
Can I just ask you one more question, sir?
Yes.
What do you hope to see as a result of this?
I hope to see that there will be some positive governmental response, because after all, people in Washington do need votes. That's what I hope to see.
Thank you very much.
I'm originally from Haiti, but I live in Washington, D.C., pretty close to Baltimore. And I'm down here just, observing, just generally checking out the turnout, what kind of people are here, what they've brought to the table, what message they're trying to get across.
And I live in Brooklyn. I was raised in New York, and I'm just happy to be here because finally we're bringing the sense of community back to New York. I think we're desperately seeking that sense of camaraderie and solidarity. And so at the bare minimum, even though a lot of people are saying we have no tangible goals that we're working towards, at the bare minimum, we're bringing people together. There's no one leader. Some people think that there's good and bad things about that, but generally speaking, if anybody has anything they want to share, they can share it. If you want to say anything, scream mic check right now, literally right now, and your message will get across.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a really effective way because there's no one person that holds most of the importance. Everybody's essentially on the same playing field. So if you, whoever you are, wherever you come from, you don't have priority over anyone else and no one has priority over you. So you can just get up there and say what you have to say and people will listen to you, as long as you're passionate and you really want to get this message across, then everyone will listen because that's generally the point.
Sure. And that's the point. I mean, I think that in itself is a way to protest this general structure of the way things are in our country, because if people want to get their message across, it's really not as easy as it sounds. Here, it is. It absolutely is. And so that in itself is being the change that they want to see, that we want to see happen. So it's cool.
Do you think this will have a real effect on corporate power in America? How do you see things changing?
I think it's beginning to change because Obama has, addressed it and has talked about it. So that means that it's definitely something that cannot be ignored. And so I think as long as people keep on going with it and not have this be kind of like a temporary thing, then I'm sure that it won't be probably radical change, but some changes will manifest themselves, I think.
Well, we've been here all day at Occupy Wall Street. And to me, it's been an amazing, not just adventure, but it's been interesting for us to be here because we hear all kinds of stories in the mainstream media. that would paint Occupy Wall Street as nothing but a denizen of young anarchists and people who want to overthrow the government. Some of them are here, but but that can be nothing can be further from the truth. We've witnessed here today a place that is multiracial, working class people, people taking off their lunchtime, people coming down their days off to be here, saying that we are the 99%, that this is a place really that is America. And you look around it, everywhere here is America, New York. It's happening across the globe, and everywhere it's happening, it's everywhere America. Whether it's Boston or Baltimore or Washington or Omaha or Chicago, now taking place in London. But we're here now with Occupy New York, where it all began. And it's been amazing to watch the way they organize themselves. They have kitchens, they have health clinics. We heard some of the wave earlier. Since they're not allowed to use microphones, they make an announcement, and the announcement is carried from group of people to group of people to group of people. The entire square knows what's going on. They vote on things. They give yeses and nos. And it's democracy in action we're watching here. And every community in America is represented here, except for maybe the 1% that are in the towers all around us. So it's been a pleasure to be up here today. We're going to bring more of this. As this grows, our coverage will grow. And I'm Marc Steiner here at Occupy Wall Street for the Marc Steiner Show on 88.9 FM, WEAA, the voice of the community.
No tarps. Are untenable. Two. We have an occupy